The first thing we're going to talk about is this conspiracy theory about Benjamin Netanyahu. All right. Now,
we're not conspiracy theorists, but if we were.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you straight up, there's something weird going on. I'm not one who normally jumps on.
Hang on, you made a definitive claim in the pre-show. Are you going to follow up that definitive claim?
I'm going to show you exactly
audience?
why we are.
Okay.
One of these videos is AI, and it's posted from Benjamin Netanyahu's X account, and it's an AI video. This one right here, I don't know. Sometimes it could look like you have 6 fingers while you're in the middle of waving your hands around on camera. Happens all the time. This one is not as definitive to me is the point. This is the one that kicked it off, though, because... All right, so there's a frame right there where, I'll be honest with you, that sort of looks like there's probably 6 fingers right there on this right hand.
Also, the fingers just look weird.
Yeah, they also look weird.
They look like, if you've ever made human AI videos before, you know that's happened in your videos. Those types of fingers.
The response to this has been, this is not 6 fingers. It's the angle and the lighting and some gases reflected off the sun from Venus and caused the image to blur and make it look like there was a pinky down there.
Mercury's having its period.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Like they're saying that that's actually his palm, and that's just an optical illusion. I would still say if that were just his palm right there, then his pinky itself looks to be in like a weird positioning on the hand. But whatever, you can let that one slide. In my opinion, you can let that slide and just say, okay, that happens. Sometimes the frame rate gets messed up. There's other stuff though, so that one's bad. Then there's this little coffee shop video. Now this one, I don't really see anything that's like definitively AI in this video. There's people going really far into this, where they're like, well, this would be the first time we've seen Netanyahu drinking with his right hand because he's left-handed. And so
the lines in his palm don't match.
Yeah, there's people matching up the actual lines on his palm.
His hands look bigger.
The length of his fingers, his first and third fingers. You look at other photos and they look like they're the same length, like kind of like mine do right here, where they look like they're the same length. And on this one, it looks like they're not. But that could change a little bit. Like your hand could be tilted.
Mine's actually longer.
Your hand could be tilted a certain direction, And so here's this one.
מה שאלת אותי?
ראש הממשלה אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל מת?
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
He's showing his hand right now, saying, look, 5 fingers on my massive hand.
פה. ראית?
יפה מאוד.
לחיים.
ראש הממשלה מסר לאנשים שיוצאים ומתאווררים?
לצאת להתאוורר, אבל ליד...
All right, so
that looks like a weird drink.
So the other thing people are going with right now...
Like, he didn't really swallow. He just went...
Well, and so listen, I'm deep into BB-Gate right now. And there's people...
I thought this was Fingergate.
First off going on, well, Fingergate, whatever it is. This is outside the Fingergate right now. This is BB-Gate. He takes like 2 pretty noticeable gulps of the coffee, and then you see with the cup there's like no coffee that's been drank out of it at all. Now listen, when I get a fresh coffee at the cafe, I'm not just going to take a couple big gulps of it anyway. Like this coffee right here is still pretty full, and I made it 4 hours ago, and it's still a little bit too hot for me to just take noticeable gulps out of it.
Also, did it go down really afterwards? I mean, it still looks pretty full.
So that's the question.
Yeah.
Took a couple gulps of the
I'm with Bundy.
Cup.
I'm with Bundy here. This is my initial thought, actually. So Bundy, thanks. This is a comment in our Fed Haters Club. You can join gml.com. He says you can tell it's AI because his English is all garbled. Yeah. It's hard. You can't understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
So... that's giveaway number 1.
The new Ayatollah, this one looks like it's real too. The same place. He went to the same shop.
מה שאלת אותי?
ראש הממשלה אומרים ברשת שאתה בכלל
There
מת?
it is.
אני מת על קפה, אתה יודע מה? אני מת על העם שלי. איך הם מתנהגים, פנטסטי. אתה רוצה לספור את מספר אצבעות?
אתה יכול להראות לנו?
There's his hands.
ראית?
יפה מאוד.
לחיים.
חושב שהמסר לאנשים שיוצאים ומתאווררים?
לצאת להתאוורר, אבל ליד מרחב מוגן. והעמידה שלכם היא מדהימה, נותנת כוח לי.
But then there's this
But here's the one.
Here's the problem. This is the problem, and I just have
תודה
questions.
לכם.
And I said this online, and I'll say this right now. I'm not saying Bibi is dead. There are many reasons that you would feel compelled to release AI-generated video of yourself during a war. Maybe he's holed up somewhere. Maybe he's hiding. Maybe he's not even in the country. I don't know. Who knows?
Could be in the U.S. Doesn't mean he's dead.
No.
It just means like these aren't videos of him.
This is not a real video.
פה עם שיר
This
ושיר.
one.
איזה יופי פה.
תודה רבה.
תתמש. תודה לכם. של מי הכלב?
That looks like a nice place.
איזה סוג זה?
כנענית, ישראלית.
Where is
נענית
that?
ישראלית, כל הכבוד.
Some kind of beautiful
טוב, גם לה
vineyard.
מגיע קצת.
ישראלית אמיתית.
יאללה, לכולכם מגיע. כן, כן. יצאתם להתעורר קצת?
All right. And so here's the problem. I don't know if you can see this on this video. I can't zoom in on this currently. Down here at the bottom, you can see his left hand, and he is wearing a wedding ring right now. And as you skip forward nice and slowly, he still has a wedding ring. Look at that ring on his finger. Oh, and now it's gone. This frame, it's there. This frame, it's gone. And then you go forward, it's not there. Not there. Does it ever reappear? Oh, it reappears. Look at that. Now he's got a ring again. Doesn't have one on right there, though. And not there when he puts his hand on the chair. And now he's wearing a ring again. That's pretty amazing.
Well, it's a real video. They used AI to remove his ring for a second because he was talking to two ladies.
You guys give me your theories. I started this off by saying this does not mean that he's dead. That is not what I'm saying. There are many reasons, I guess, that he could be in a bunker somewhere. He could have fled. He could be gone. He could be whatever. The ring is on his finger, and then it's gone. Clearly, it's gone, and then it's back. But why? Someone, you're an AI guy. Explain how this is a real video, but it disappears and then reappears.
It's not a real video.
There's no possible way.
So I think it might be a real video with a real person, but they've superimposed BB on to whoever was talking to these people. So it could be a real video that, but they used AI to change who the person was talking to the people.
My response over the weekend was he's not dead. We would know he was dead because that would mean the war would be over. Like we would have already left by now. So, it's still going right now.
I don't know.
The reasons that's a joke. The reasons that you would not announce it, what I would say is you would not want to give that win to the Iranians, to the Ayatollah or any of them. You could say like what Magoo said in here is like, wouldn't you want to rally Israel around dead Netanyahu to go after Iran? They're already doing that. They're already going after Iran.
Like 90% approval rate.
Everyone's going after
Israelis.
Iran as hard as they can. You don't need to rally Israel up to go fight Iran. They're already in on it. And so what you wouldn't want to do, I think, is show that Iran had the capability to kill your prime minister. I think there's a bigger chance of that. I'm still not saying he's dead. I'm saying for some reason, they have released at least one AI video of Netanyahu as proof of life. That is why he's putting these out. I mean, he literally is showing his hands in the coffee video, the cafe video. He's trying to prove that, like, this is him, this is not AI. They are posting these videos to show that he is alive, to quell the conspiracy theories that he's dead. And they put out an actual AI video to do that.
Which is strange. That's the strangest part of the whole thing, is that these weren't random videos posted. They were posted in response to people claiming that he's dead and be like, no, look, he's fully alive.
Yeah.
with disappearing rings and everything. Don't question us. It's definitely a manipulated video. That's for sure.
Yeah, we know that.
Did we notice anything weird on any of the other participants? Any of the other people in the videos? Because I'm wondering, because that's what
you're wondering if they just replaced him.
Exactly. Because it makes me wonder, like, okay, is this a real place with real people?
Well, this guy's wearing a mask, so there's something wrong with that. Why is he wearing a mask?
I don't know.
When was this video taken?
Who knows?
That's weird.
I'm trying to figure out if there's anything weird on anyone else, like any fingers or that. So, like, is the whole video AI or is it real with a superimposed BB that obviously is fake? And the problem is maybe the person they are filming doesn't wear a wedding ring, and so when that guy moved his hand, it went back to like the real hand.
Yeah.
I would be interested in that and analyzing to see, is there anything else weird in this video? Are all the people fake? Are they all AI? Or is it just BB? Or is it just BB's hand? That's AI.
What they're trying to hide is that he's got 6 fingers. You know, the sunlight's fine in this. A lot of times you can look at sunlights and shadows, the light and the shadows, like sun's over here for sure, and that makes sense. His whole face is shaded at this point. You can see the light right there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any other obvious stuff right now. There's our coverage of the Netanyahu Fingergate. I don't know what to make of this, but
based on that quick analysis, it looks like a real video, but BB is obviously, there's AI around BB.
It's an AI BB.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I like that
because the
theory.
rest of the people look, so far, I haven't looked at it in detail. The rest of the people look real.
Okay, so big news over the weekend, and as I said at the beginning, the thing you do have to remember with this is that this news is coming entirely from Tucker, and that doesn't mean that Tucker is lying.
So you give him the benefit of the doubt here.
I'm saying it doesn't mean he's lying. You know, I don't know. I don't listen to him or pay enough attention to him to know whether or not he would just outright make something like that up. He does seem to.
He did for the Iraq War.
Well, sure.
But he did ask for forgiveness for his sins.
Yeah. And so the
that
news,
he long feared would come back to haunt him.
The news here is that potentially the government's going to go after him for like a FARA violation, like Foreign Agents Registration Act violation, because
wouldn't it be funny if he got all of the leaders into the room, though, that allowed the United States to kill Khomeini and all of the successors?
So here's a little bit of that.
Is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war. They read my texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that, acting as an agent of a foreign power. And I don't expect this to go anywhere. I'm not too worried about an actual criminal case against me for a bunch of reasons. One, I'm not an agent of a foreign power.
There's something he does right here that I don't like, by the way. He has talked about the Foreign Agents Registration Act a ton of times. He knows exactly what it is. He knows exactly what it's for. He has accused other people of being in violation of this act many times in the past in many interviews that I've seen. And so my question with this is why, when he mentions the Foreign Agents Act or something, does he act like he's not really aware of what this is or what it entails? I found that to be weird the first time I watched the video. It's like, why did you just act like that when you mentioned that? I've heard you accuse other people of violating this many times.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Anyhow.
So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that, acting as an agent of a foreign power. And I don't expect this to go anywhere. I'm not too worried about an actual criminal case against me for a bunch of reasons. One, I'm not an agent of a foreign power. Unlike a lot of people commenting on U.S. politics and global affairs, I have only one loyalty, and that's the United States, and have never acted against it. Its interests are the only interests I care about because I'm from here and I have a lot of kids. So that's not a concern. I've also never taken money from anybody. Don't need it, don't want it. And that's provable. And moreover, it's my job to talk to everybody all the time and try and figure out what's happening around the world. That's literally what I do for a living. And I'm not going to stop doing that. Nor should I don't think. I'm also an American. So I can talk to anybody. I have no secrets to divulge. So legally, I think the case is ludicrous, and I doubt it'll even become a case. I'm bringing this up for a couple of reasons, though, and they're pretty obvious. One is that countries tend to become more authoritarian in wartime. It's just the nature of war. People are dying. The stakes are high. People's emotions have risen to a very high point, to a crescendo. And so there's much less tolerance for any kind of dissent in the homeland. The irony, of course, is the United States fights wars on behalf of freedom, but there's always less of it here in our country during war. So that's a widely recognized phenomenon, and it's likely to happen now too. Another point to make that is worth knowing is that the USIC, the intelligence agency, spy on Americans. Now, you probably knew that, and it's been revealed a lot, including by Julian Assange and Ed Snowden, both of whom are threatened with death for revealing it, but everyone knows. But it's probably a little more widespread than most people understand, and it's outrageous. There's no justification for your government, which you own, you're a shareholder in it, you pay for it, to be violating your privacy like this. But it happens all the time. And in fact,
all right, so this is the story. What we don't have on this yet, like everything that's happened after this has just been a lot of speculation about what could happen if they decide to go after Tucker for this. And what we do know is that Tucker does talk to the Iranians. He's had the president of Iran, not the Ayatollah. He's had the president on his show before. Like he talks to them. Because we know that.
No, because he's a Putin puppet.
Yeah.
So
we know he talks to them. That's not really in question here. I guess what you would have to do with FARA would be to somehow show that Tucker was acting on behalf of Iran to try and stop America from being involved in this war, not because of any of his like beliefs on how that would go or whether or not it was America first or anything, but somehow the Iranian government, the IRGC, that he was acting. And so the times that he went and talked to Trump or the times that he's broadcasting on the show, things like that, he's actually acting on Iran's behalf and not, you know, what he wants everyone to believe, which is that this is America first and he's scared about what we're doing and doesn't think it's a good idea and stuff like that. Personal opinion on the matter, I have no idea. I don't think that Tucker would be making these arguments because the Iranian government or anyone else over there was telling him to do so, especially if they were paying him or whatever. I don't think that's the case at all. I have no idea. I don't see that as being the case. What I'm seeing right now is that that's how it's going to be painted now for sure. Every time Tucker has a new episode come out or a new clip come out or whatever, that he's literally doing the thing that people have been accusing others of. We've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. Like we played a Ben Shapiro clip on Dumb Bleep of the Week on Friday. Like, oh, you're just puppeting Iranian propaganda. You know, he did that fake infomercial, like pharmaceutical ad about Iranian propaganda syndrome or whatever.
Even though they're the ones who are perpetrating Israeli propaganda.
That's the craziest, the wildest, like...
And by the way, getting paid for this.
Like mind F that's happening right now, like gaslight or whatever different psychological terms you want to throw on it, is that there are many people that we could name just right off the top of our heads that seem to literally be acting on behalf of Israel. You know, like
in fact, Israel's
like
the only. So even if Israel's the only one where you don't have to register FARA.
Well, I think you're supposed to still.
Yeah, but
like
you don't have to. There's like no.
Well, you don't need. Like you end up not having to because
it's wild.
Because like your American convictions can just lead you to care so much for this other country that you're not acting on their behalf. You're acting on America's behalf because they're our biggest ally in the world. And so
And
you're
here's the other
not
thing I
acting on
find
their behalf.
the other thing I find interesting is journalists interview people from foreign nations all the time, whether they're in the government or citizens or whatever the case may be. You're trying to, I don't know, act on behalf of the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, which is the freedom of press, the freedom to interview whoever the hell you want to for whatever reason you want to interview them. So I don't think anything's going to come of this. I think if something does, it'll be extremely damaging. I'll be the first to admit I think our government is completely authoritarian, and we're heading down a path of arresting journalists, or it seems to be that way. Now, could they get away with it in America? I don't know. They tried to get away with the Ministry of Truth, and that backfired. If they try to get away with something like this, I think it's going to backfire. I think America still is at the point where if you do something egregious against our rights, then America will stand up and those things will backfire. But they're trying to chip away at it, and Tucker may be a domino they might try to use. I'm extremely interested in how this plays out. Well, now, my gut tells me nothing's going to happen because it would be political suicide. But
I don't think they would. I mean, Tucker is.
But I'm still interested to see if they attempt something.
Yeah. I mean, you think the right is fractioning right now. Good Lord, if they actually go after Tucker Carlson, like if that's who the deep state decides to go after, or if that's who the administration decides to go after, it's over at that point. You might as well go ahead and accept that we're going to have full-blown communism in the next like 10, 15 years. The right will be done at that point. It's over. Now, doesn't mean that means they shouldn't, pursue whatever the law is if someone did break a law or whatever, but I don't think that's the case in this scenario, and they're not going to apply it evenly, of course, because we have tons of people who were going back and forth between Netanyahu and Trump and other people in Israel and Trump and people in the administration trying to find ways to convince Trump to take this action on Iran. And we know that. Like, Lindsey Graham has bragged about that, you know? Do you guys really think Mike Huckabee is working for the U.S. and Israel? Is he working for Israel in Israel so we can talk to the U.S. about what Israel wants? Yeah. Like that's I think that's probably what's happening here. We have multiple people and what you were saying about, journalists can talk to whoever they want. I think the issue would be, well, if they're talking to people, then they come around and they're lobbying the government. Is it on behalf of what they've been talking to those people about? I don't think that's the case. I just think that's the argument a lot of people are going to make. And by the way, no criminal charges have to happen here. Those people on what I deem to be the actual woke right, the woke Zionist right, they've got what they want right here, which is actually Tucker coming out and announcing that the government is looking at going after him on a FARA violation, and it's giving them everything they want. Don't listen to Tucker. He is working on behalf of the Iranian government. No one even had to come out and do anything. They're already calling him Tucker Carlson and all that. That name kind of falls flat considering Trump loves Qatar, you know? And they're like a really big ally of ours, of course.
Gave us a plane.
Yeah. $400 million plane, all that kind of stuff. That name already kind of falls flat, but he came out and announced that this might happen, which in my opinion could be the op itself, that someone fed him information that they were looking at going after him based off of his communications with the Iranians or people in the Iranian government, and they might have no plan on actually doing that and aren't going to announce that they're actually doing that, but they actually got him to kind of preempt the whole thing and put out his defense, and then they can say, I don't know what you're talking about, man. We're working on a war over here. There's another theory on this, which is that this is why Tucker Carlson was being brought to the White House, that they knew that Tucker Carlson was talking to the Iranian government, and they were using Tucker Carlson unwittingly to tell the Iranians that Trump was serious about trying to negotiate and not go to war. And so he would go back and talk to the Iranians and say, yeah, they're really, Trump doesn't want to do this war. They're really trying to negotiate. And
So he could lure the
so he could
Ayatollah.
lure them
Told
into
you.
negotiations and blow them up.
Yeah.
And so that's a worthwhile theory. That's possible. This is pretty smart, but I don't know. As of right now, we have no information other than Tucker Carlson posting out a 5-minute video. Laura Loomer wants to see Tucker Carlson in the handcuffs, like right now.
Hang him in the street.
I finally muted her. Just so you know, you're not going to see her posts on our feed anymore. I finally got rid of her because she frustrates me. Last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here today, just sort of an overview. There's this idea right now that this divide on the right is going to toss the Democrats the midterms. And the divide, in my opinion, it really started happening when they gave up on Doge like 2 months in. And then the Elon Musk split happened. And then the Epstein files thing happened. And then that was a really big one. Maybe the strike on Iran last June or whenever it was that they did that was part of it. Then we get the Epstein files and now this war. And it's like everyone's just fighting with each other. And a lot of the establishment, like normie Republicans, are upset with all of these podcaster bros.
These grifters.
Yeah. And
these rhinos.
First off, there's an issue with that because I heard numerous times, so many times after the election was Trump did a great job getting this coalition together. He went on all these different podcasts. Kamala wouldn't go on, she just went to Call Your Daddy or whatever that podcast was. And that was a flop. But Trump was getting all of these people together to form this big base that was going to go vote for him. And now all these people are just, leaving Trump. Well, when you go around and you talk to these people, all the stuff you're going to do and not do, like more wars, stuff like that, and all these podcasters are more interested in the Epstein file stuff than like your typical like Fox News person would be or something like that.
Which, by the way, just real quick, it's so weird to me in some of these positions because one thing the Trump administration was really good at is taking these 80-20 issues and being on the side of the 80
mm-hmm.
and drumming up coalition among independents and libertarians and all sorts of support from all of these different factions and unifying them together on a message of conservatism and liberty and all of these great things they were going to do. Most of it was 80-20 issues, like not going to war, cutting federal spending, all of these things.
A lot of it was the transing the kids and stuff like that, which they've done a lot of work
Epstein,
on that.
Like all of these 80-20 issues. And then, as the live group has pointed out, even me, you can go back and listen when back in January and February and March of 2025, I was the most hype I've ever been as a libertarian, sitting in my chair, couldn't believe the words that were coming out of the mouth of the President of the United States from the Oval Office. We were going to cut the Department of Defense spending by 50%. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And then to just see the administration completely flop on some of these really important issues. And then they're going to try to blame people like us who hadn't supported Trump in the past, by the way. Didn't vote for him in 2016, didn't vote for him in 2020, voted for him in 2024 because I believed in this new message. He did, pardon or commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht, get him out of prison.
He pardoned, full pardon.
Full pardon. Ross Ulbricht, that was one promise he did keep. We saw a lot of good people come into the administration. We thought someone like Tulsi Gabbard, which, by the way, has been really silent.
What's she doing these
for the last year? Where the hell is she? She's a leader of the intelligence community.
She's investigating Tucker Carlson.
So we saw all of these things play out, and we were just like, oh man, this could change the tides. There was so much hope that we had this opportunity that we could bring in these outside forces and we could change the deep state and we could forge on with liberty. And maybe not much to our surprise, but that all started slowly eroding. And now it's our fault.
Well, now
that Democrats are, you know what? Good. I hope they take over because you, that's why. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of us speaking about the truth and you going along with it for a little while, just enough to get the support and get the vote. And now that you're flip-flopping and all the things you promised, and we're the ones who are out here still speaking the truth, and you're going to say it's our fault? Yeah, I hope they all win. I hope you lose handedly. That's my hope now.
That's where I have a tough time hoping that, because I know what that means, because I do hate the left more than the right still, but I'm not going to
It's just like when they want to increase minimum wage. I hope all the businesses just close down.
I'm not going to do anything to help anyone on the right with this. And I think there's an important lesson that people need to learn here. People keep talking about the midterms. We're running up on time here, so I'll skip over the video. The general message over and over again is, what, have you forgotten about the midterms and how Democrats are going to take over? And this is our last chance to save our country. And if they take over now, and then that's it, it's going to be too late. And I've said this a couple times now, but I'm sick, like what Charlie just said, I'm sick of being held hostage by the midterms every other year or every other couple of years. It's always, we got to do it. This is our last chance. And then you get about a year.
You know what I hate?
Where you can actually do things. And then the rest of it is just, well, we can't do it because the midterms are coming up. But after the midterms, we'll get it done after that. And, then that's it. That's a cycle over and over again every single time.
You know what I hate worse than bad policy?
Liars?
Lying.
Yeah.
And bad policy.
Yeah.
Lying plus bad policy.
Politicians. Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Well, at least the Democrats are like, yeah, we want to tax the billionaires and we want to ruin the economy and all that stuff. At least they're honest about it.
It's true.
For the most part.
It is true.
You know, like, yeah, we want to tax the rich. We want to destroy the economy.
That is true.
We want to redistribute wealth.
It's almost less frustrating.
Yeah.
Because they come out and they're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make the government bigger. We're going to quell some speech a little bit. We're going to go after free speech a little bit. We're going to make it. You can train your kids. We're not going to force you to. You can train your kids. We're going to take more money from you guys, and we're going to spend more than that. So we're going to print a bunch, and we're going to borrow a bunch more, and we're going to keep on this same path we've been on for a long time. Real socialism's never been tried. We got to try democratic socialism. We're going to have the government take care of everything for you guys. At least they come out and they say it to you.
And at least
they say it to your face.
That might actually be more beneficial if you look at the long-term time horizon. Because at least, like, maybe we could destroy America faster so we could rebuild liberty.
Collapsitarianism. There you go.
Well,
I'm
just looking at this, okay? Rather than make all of these promises and don't follow through on them, and we still institute terrible policy, we still spend more money than we've ever could freaking imagine in the history of God. Like, Jesus, what are we talking about here? You're talking about an administration who is acting like a Democrat. Tell me he's better than Hillary Clinton. Like, how? How would he be any better than having Hillary Clinton in there right now, going to war with all over the place, spending money? I mean, there's no difference. And
he's more fun to listen to. There's more entertainment value than Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, the drama's fun.
So you got to put value on that. I mean, entertainment costs money, you know?
Yeah, and I know there's a few people who will be like, yeah, he's better than Hillary Clinton. How?
I mean, I don't know. Hillary Clinton's never been president before, so I can't really tell you.
But think about what policies she was wanting to institute. Like, so Trump is better on transing kids. Okay, there's one. Sure. Okay.
It's a pretty important one.
It's a good one. It is a very important one. Yes, that is true. I will give you that. But on spending, wars,
there's no difference. Well, they're worse on wars. I mean, good Lord. Republicans can't help themselves but they get in wars in the Middle East. Look at who got us into all this crap. Bush.
I hear Clinton.
Bush.
She's praising him
Trump.
for his current foreign policy. I haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah. Clinton's softened on Trump a little bit. Yeah.
Well,
there's a clip going around.
One of his best friends.
So that's true.
So now they're going to be buddy-buddy again.
Well, once he's been trying to protect Bill this whole time, yeah. No, here's the deal. Whatever arguments, can we make the arguments that Democrats are worse than Republicans? Yeah, we really can. I can't stand Democrats. I can't name a single one of them that I would want to keep.
By the way, one of the linchpins leading up to us voting for Trump was all of the lying and gaslighting the left was doing. It was worse than what the Republicans are doing.
They deserve to
lose. Well, now
the
Republicans are taking a playbook out of the Democrats for some reason, deciding to lie and gaslight us. Or when something bad happens, they're like, oh, well, it's worth it. You pay $4, $5, $6 a gallon of gas. I know you can't afford it, but, we should do it because it's more important to start this war in the Middle East that we have no business being involved in. And then it's like, I can't stand it. I don't know what else to say. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. If you want to call me a grifter, call me a grifter. I don't care.
Well, the grifting, we'd have to be making a lot of money off of this. The the thing is about, do you care about the midterms or whatever? This is my final thought on this. Do they deserve your vote? Have the Republicans done anything to deserve you getting up out of your chair, getting in your car, and going down and punching the ballot box?
If you live in Thomas Massey's district, yes.
So how many of them have actually done things to deserve your vote? Not because...
If you live in Rand Paul's district?
Not because they are slightly better than Democrats on some things. But what have they done? What positive actions have they taken to cut spending, reduce the government, cut the deep state, abolish departments, anything like that? What have they done? They're not doing any of that. Then they might say, well, we don't have the votes. Dude, you wouldn't vote for it even if we had the votes, because you don't have to. And you know why they don't have to? Because they're better than Democrats, so their constituents are still going to vote for them. And I'm done with that. Their incentive process cannot be, as long as I'm slightly better than Democrats, I'm going to keep my job. Their incentive process has to be, I'm going to actually do what is only in line with the Constitution, what actually has to be done, what I say in my campaign, what has to be done to actually cut government and actually make real turns away from the direction that this country is going on right now. And they will not do it because they don't have to. Because every single election cycle, people say, well, the left is way scarier, so I guess we have to go vote for these people. I bet they'll do a good job after they win this election. And then they don't. Their incentive process cannot just be to be slightly better than Democrats and they'll keep their job. No, they've got to actually start doing stuff.
I need people to get in on this Fed Haters Club. This is fun stuff. Bundy wants you to know, Nate, that both parties will waste your money on furniture.
We know that
can be guaranteed.
Yeah. We had a tip on X, by the way. Someone saying they listened to the episode and they're in the know on this, and they did in fact say that there are I don't have it pulled up,
warehouses.
I don't want to use the word warehouses if it's not in the post.
Rooms upon rooms.
Rooms upon rooms, maybe some of them very big and can hold a lot of things, packed full of furniture.
That aren't in use.
Just full of furniture.
God.
So I'm gotta get some more information on this whole thing.
Yeah, we need to redistribute the furniture. That'll help the economy.
No, there's too much furniture inflation. It's not gonna be worth anything if you throw it all into the economy at one time.
All right. Well, look, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'm not sorry about my rant. I can't help how I feel when it comes to the truth. All right. If you guys want to, I don't know, buy into the MAGA cult, believing in all these flip-flop policies, go ahead. That's fine. I don't hate you for that. I just think you're ill-informed. That's all. And I think there's a better way. And I think we know what the truth is. And you're just lying to yourself if you think that these things are a good idea and it's somehow going to promote America or liberty, because it does neither one of those things.
You talking about the war?
All of it. The spending, the war, everything. So anyway, share it around. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. Hit that bell. Give us a thumbs up. We appreciate your interactions. If you want to support the show with some dollars, then you can visit the links in the show notes to support the sponsors that support this show, or join the Fed Haters Club, joingml.com. It's the Fed Haters Club, okay? Because the Fed does almost nothing good. Mm-hmm. That's, Fed Haters Club, joingml.com.
And feds, all feds.
If you do that, then we'll be back again on Wednesday. Until then, I hope you have a good day and a good morning, Liberty.